Okay, again, thanks to Sean on YouTube for suggesting conduit would keep all this neat. I was probably going to just run wires under the bench and round, but what I'm going to do is I've got a fuse RCD unit that's normally used as a caravan extension cable, so I might modify that slightly and use that, or if they're cheap enough I might just buy an RCD fuse unit to go into the corner. We're going to then run some 25mm round conduit along here. I'm going to put sockets in on each of these battens, probably around that sort of height, just to go over the join as well. So that would be run around each one. The conduit is relatively cheap. I should put a T-piece in, then drop the wire down in conduit into there. I suppose in fact if you got it perfectly level, you could just cut a hole in the conduit and run it straight into a hole in the top. Interesting. Yeah, I'll clip it as required along. Missed some paint there, I'm going to have to touch this up. So that's going to run all around there. We're going to have the computer in the corner, so I'm going to have a set of 4 there, another set of 4 here, so that'll be the computer and all the other bits and pieces we've got running on it. And then it will run across here. We've got these two, which are monitor stands. Currently the 2 monitors sit on a couple of bits of wood, always wobbling around, so I thought we'd try and do it properly this time. And of course we've got shelving and space underneath, so I thought whatever. So then possibly that is going behind there to power the 2 monitors, and then another socket here, and then we'll use some 90s to then perhaps come down and along here, so we'll have power to that. This one will need, or the other memory pad that I've got, that will need either permanent power 9 volt, 12 volts DC, or if I use the memory pad, that is rechargeable. So probably the rechargeable one would look neater, although it's slightly longer. And then here we're going to have a double socket with USB, another one at the end here with USB, and then these 2 are going to go underneath there on the wood. And the reason for that is currently I have a poor old manky trolley next to me, and I have the solder station on it, and what else have we got? The Dremel. Might even put the hot air on it. Currently the hot air sits on the bench, which is always in the way. May even put a dedicated shelf up for the meters, so we try and keep the bench as clear as possible. So yeah, there'll be a few bits and pieces on here. This I can just slide out as required, back in, and if I want to unplug everything from under here, I could then probably slide this completely out of the way. It will go under there if I wanted to. What else have we got? And then here we have some new storage cases. I think we've got 6 pieces that will go up. So yeah, that will depend on where the monitors are. We might get some of them up here. Might even put some up over the window. We'll see, but we've got them, so that's the main thing. So wicks will be the next trip for this conduit, and yeah, we'll get that run around hopefully. I have a whole load of that orange cable. I can't remember, it's probably not quite as powerful as the twin and earth is, but I don't want to waste anything. Everything in here is going to be very low power. I mean, barely any wattage at all, so that will save quite a bit of money on twin and earth. And I've got it sat there, I will, probably 30 meters of it, so we're going to be using that. So yeah, that's where we are currently. Right, so just a mid-afternoon update. Down to wicks, very little stock. Certainly don't even stock a basic fuse box, so if I do need one of those, that's going to be online or somewhere else. So we've got the sockets at a reasonable height. For some reason I was thinking of running this conduit up higher and having a pipe down to each socket, but why the hell would you do that? Just put the T-pieces straight onto the sockets. So I think I'll be taking quite a lot of conduit back as not required. So yeah, this is all working out perfectly okay. The actual conduit is a bit grubby. I wonder if you can actually paint that. Yeah, that's not tight, we'll have to do that screw up. But yeah, you get the idea. Yeah, 2 at this end, another 2 there, 1 in the middle for the monitors, that one there, and a few more around there. So yeah, conduit's quite cheap actually. T-pieces and everything were reasonably priced. I didn't have the normal cheap T-pieces, so I've had to get all of these inspection ones, but they were about 60-70p more. It wasn't worth trying to go somewhere else or ordering them online. I've got time today to get on with this. So yeah, I think that's going to look okay. So yeah, more later. Right, so it got a bit tricky all of a sudden because I use these little shelves above the current bench, and also I've got 2 monitors to do all the paperwork, shipping and everything. So it seemed that obviously I've got to get the racking up. I was going to put it on that back wall, and then I dragged the chair in, and I was sat here thinking, the light through that window is actually quite bright. It's quite dazzling. So whilst it's nice to be able to see outside, especially when all of the plants and the roses are going to be growing up the fence there, or the other shed, I thought probably better to have everything I need up there. And I've got 2 of the racks left and a few of the trays, but then on the back of the workshop door over there I've got pretty much, you can see possibly the orange trays. They go from there right up to the top, so I might bring that in and put it on the back wall. That is also wider. These here, we've got 2 units and then 2 above. The other units in the old workshop are actually 2 foot wide, which is the same width as the battens in here. So yeah, that's cut down the dazzle. Drag the monitors in as well. I've got new monitors coming, 224s, so they match. That's always annoyed me, using 2 different size monitors, so they'll be here tomorrow. So the next socket, the next sockets can go where it's planned, just behind the monitors in here, and then I'm going to have to bring it down perhaps. Well, I was going to have to bring it down anyway, so yeah, it's not a problem. And if we have any more of that up here, it would have to be on a batten, a wooden batten would have to go across, and it would only be screwed into the middle just here. So we would get 1 or 2 units in there. So I'm not convinced about that at the moment. So I think we're going to run the conduit across to there, and then across to here, and then after that we'll probably go into the corner, we'll come down, and then we'll come across, and then these ones can sit up here. I think that's going to be the best option. The chair here does mean that I can work, pat test here, spin round, do all the paperwork. I've got a slide out keyboard that's going under here, or at least I think I have, because we've got that wooden batten there. I might have to put some more battens across, and that might make it too low, but well, we'll see. If I have to have a keyboard and mouse on the top, I've got the room to do it. Computer will be there. On top of the computer will be the A4 printer, and then possibly just here will be the 6x4 label printer that we use for the raw mail click and drop system. So I should be able to spin round and do everything without actually moving, which is ideal. In the old workshop I was scooting up and down on this chair all day long. Hopefully not. I'm also thinking I might bring obviously I've got to put that the laser this end probably as well, because I often security mark parts that go out, so that would be convenient if it's perhaps here as well. Ventilation is going to be a problem for it. It's the only thing. It can only come out of this side wall because I've got full access to that. Obviously it can come out the front, and it can't come out that wall because we've got something the other side of that. So perhaps the laser might sit in here with an exit, straight through the wall there. It'd be nice and easy to get to. I've got the new vent for it down on the floor there. The CCTV monitor, I can drag that in here. I've got 20 meters of HDMI cable to leave the CCTV in place, and just run the cable into the workshop here and have a monitor. We've got various CCTV systems, so I can easily log into others, but that's kind of the one that I've got used to looking at when I'm working. It shows me everything that's going on out the front, deliveries and all sorts. So yeah, I'm just going to get the rest of this conduit done, and yeah, it's looking okay. I reach most of these things. I tend to need to reach just elements and thermal fuses. Cables generally are kept underneath in their individual boxes, so we will have type 1 and type 3 cables sat underneath there. But I've got room now to put other units for sockets and all sorts. So yeah, this is going to be so much better, I think, than the old one. So yeah, another late afternoon update. Okay, that's today's effort finished. So got all the sockets in there. Goes round for some doubles near the computer, printers, etc. Some more doubles, single doubles around there. And then we've got the USB one there, another USB one there, and a normal double. And as I mentioned earlier, I was going to come down and put a couple underneath here that can connect here onto the equipment that will sit on this, but I couldn't really get a neat solution. I could have come out of the bottom down with some trunking, but unfortunately I can't go straight down there because the wood is here, so it would have had to come out a little bit and then down, and it's just going to be a bit of a mess, and it's eating a little bit into the work surface there. So I thought it's going to be easier if this is just kept completely clear. So we've got room to plug in the hot air, the soldering iron and everything that's going to be on that. phone charging. The oscilloscope meter charges from USB. That's left permanently charging. We've got the shelving up, well, you know, the little containers. That's also taken a lot of the dazzling daylight away from here. So even as the sun comes around now at whatever it is, about 5:30 in the evening, we're not really going to be caused any problems. So yeah, quite happy with that, and hopefully the next stage will be to just run the wiring all through and get these sockets actually wired up. So yeah, nothing very much to say on that. If you've done plumbing, you've probably got those great big cutters that will cut through 38-40 mil PVC pipe. I did try that on this, but it just crushes it and cracks it, so I've just hacksawed through there. I've drilled holes into all of these just to secure them to the battens, and that was it really. Nothing much in the way of tips, corner piece, yeah, so all pretty straightforward really. So anyway, there we go.